passion.
So you've got two big trade deals hanging in the balance right now. First is China. Right. Are we going to see a deal signed next week?
Well, our team just got back. We had a briefing here at the White House yesterday. We're going to be welcoming the vice premier next week, and those negotiations are ongoing. And I think President Trump remains very hopeful. He's got a very good relationship with President Xi. But what he's made clear to President Xi, what I've made clear in my interactions traveling through the Asia Pacific last year, is that things have to change. I mean, while we hear one of the latest candidates for president say that on the Democrat side say that China doesn't represent a competition to the United States, Eamon, you know that they're half of our international trade deficit. And forced technology transfers and intellectual property theft are a reality. President Trump has made it clear that things have to change with China on the structural issues as well as the trade imbalance. And we'll continue to stand firm on those.
One of those structural issues is hacking, Chinese hacking of American companies. There was a report this week that the president's willing to drop his demand that the Chinese stop hacking American companies. Is that true?
I haven't seen that report. What I can tell you is...
Is he going to demand that they stop hacking American companies as part of this deal?
We've made it very clear across the board that things have to change with China, whether it be the debt diplomacy through the One Belt, One Road policy that they're advancing, whether it be freedom of navigation, particularly in the South China Sea, where we've asserted America's interest there in new and in renewed ways, or whether it be domestic political interference. All of that is a backdrop to these trade negotiations. But what we want is a better relationship, a more honest, a more level relationship with China across the board. And President Trump believes that by resetting our trading relationship, by literally bringing China up to the standard that other nations around the world live up to with regard to intellectual property and forced technology transfers, that we will begin a process of addressing all those issues.
Let me tick through a couple of other topics here. You've got the USMCA. You've got Republican senators, including Chuck Grassley, who say you've got to drop tariffs in order to get USMCA through Congress. Do you think that's the right approach?
We're dealing with members of Congress, productive meetings yesterday on just this issue. But look, the USMCA is a win for American jobs, and it's a win for American
But do you have the votes?
Workers. We're working it.
Working on it.
Look, I have every confidence, as the president does, that if Speaker Pelosi puts the USMCA on the floor, it'll pass. But look, we're going to work with Democrats in Congress. We're going to address issues raised by Republicans as we move forward on this. But make no mistake about it, I'm a guy that comes from the Midwest. I remember when NAFTA was signed into law, and it was a real education for me through my career, where I always, just as the president is someone that believes in free trade, I always had a reflexive bias for free trade, but I saw the way NAFTA hollowed out communities in the state of Indiana. We saw jobs heading south of the border. The president made it clear NAFTA had to change. We renegotiated the deal in a way that puts American jobs and American workers first, and we have every confidence going forward that if Speaker Pelosi will schedule the USMCA for the floor, it will pass. We'll address the issues in the Senate, and we'll put even greater momentum into this growing and expanding American economy.
On China, is it a possibility that we get to a deal? There's a big signing ceremony. We see the two presidents, and yet there are still some American tariffs remaining in place afterward. Or are all the tariffs going to be pulled out?
Well, I think the whole issue of enforcement is a part of what's being discussed right now, Eamon. Whether or not, the president's imposed...
So is that a yes or a no?
Well, the president's two favorite words are "we'll see."
We'll see.
But, we put $250 billion in tariffs on. The president believes we're in a very strong position. We could put more tariffs on if we're not able to reach an agreement. But the manner in which tariffs would come off is going to be a part of an enforcement mechanism, and all of that is a subject of negotiations as we talk.